consistency should have never pulled over that night. People say every disaster begins with a small decision, missing a turn, answering a phone call, trusting a stranger. For me, it started with a pair of headlights flashing in my rearview mirror on a deserted stretch of Route 19 in northern Wisconsin. It was past midnight. Sleet was tapping the windshield, and the road ahead looked like a ribbon rolling into darkness. I was exhausted after 9 hours on the highway, driving to a renovation job scheduled for dawn. But then, I saw a figure on the roadside, a woman, standing in the snow, barefoot, and, like an idiot, I slowed down. Her hand lifted slowly, like it weighed too much hand. She pointed at an old farmhouse a little off the road, its porch light flickering weakly in the storm. I rolled my window down 2 inches. Ma'am, you okay? She didn't speak. Her lips trembled. Her hair stuck to her face. She simply pointed again, more urgently, toward the house. I don't know why I got out. Maybe guilt. Maybe instinct. Maybe the way she looked at me like she needed me specifically. Is someone hurt? I asked. She nodded, but her eyes didn't match the nod. Something about them seemed delayed, like her expression was a second behind her movements. Still. I grabbed my flashlight and followed her through crunching snow to the house. The door was open. It shouldn't have been. Inside, the temperature rose sharply. The air was thick, warm, and smelled like soil, the unmistakable scent of freshly disturbed earth. I brushed it off as the smell of old wood, damp insulation, anything that wasn't the thing my mind leapt to. Where is everyone? I asked. The woman stepped inside, but her footsteps made no sound. Not on the old wooden floor, not even a faint creak. That should have been the second clue. The first was her bare feet in the snow. The third came when she whispered, downstairs. Her voice was wrong. Too soft, too close, like she was whispering into my ear, but standing several feet ahead. Still. I walked deeper into the house. A faint tapping echoed somewhere. Not pipes. Not wind. Something else. The woman gestured toward a door near the kitchen, a basement door, half open. I stopped. Look, if someone's hurt, I'll call for help, but I'm not going down there blind. She didn't blink. You have to go. He listens when people go down. I stared at her. Who? She lowered her head, hair falling over her face. The house? I actually laughed. Lady, I'm not playing games. If someone's hurt, you better tell me exactly what's going on. She didn't move. Didn't breathe. Didn't even sway. My flashlight flickered. The tapping grew louder. Against my better judgment, I stepped toward the basement door. The smell intensified. Soil. Damp. Cold. I pulled the door fully open. The house inhaled. I swear to God I heard it. A long, slow intake, as though the walls themselves were breathing in my presence. I froze. My throat tightened. My fight or flight instinct kicked. Screaming run. But something else screamed louder. A scream I couldn't ignore. A human scream. From the basement. I lunged down the stairs without thinking. Halfway down. My boot slipped on something soft, mud smeared across a wooden step. Mud inside a basement that had no visible door to outside. I caught myself on the wall and shone the light. There were finger marks dragged through the soil. Long trenches, like someone had clawed through earth. My pulse hammered. Hello, I yelled. A voice came from the far corner. A man's voice. Raw, cracked. Please, help. I ran. The basement wasn't cluttered, just empty concrete and patches of bare earth, like someone had torn the floor open with their hands. At the far side, a man lay on his side, half covered in dirt, like he was being buried from beneath. Asterisk, I rushed to him. God, man, what happened? Who did this? Asterisk, he grabbed my wrist with a soil-caked hand. Shut up, he breathed. Don't speak loud. It doesn't like loud. What doesn't? The house creaked overhead. The sound wasn't wood settling. Asterisk, it sounded attentive, like something leaned closer. The man's eyes widened. My mouth went dry. I whispered, who are you? Asterisk, name's Carter, he said. Been stuck here for days. Maybe weeks. I don't know anymore. Asterisk, did the woman up there do this? The one who waved me down? Asterisk, his face twisted. There's nobody up there. Asterisk, what? I saw her. Asterisk, he grabbed my collar, panic bursting. No. There's nobody living here. Nobody alive. The basement light flickered. Something shifted behind USA. Subtle movement in the soil, like something burrowing through it, circling. Oh God. Carter started crying silently. Asterisk, you shouldn't have come, he whispered. It heard your engine. It always hears engines. That's how it chooses. Asterisk, what is it? I whispered. Asterisk, he shook his head violently. Not a what? The house. The house itself. It listens. It watches. It uses them. Asterisk, uses who? He stared behind me. When I turned, I saw the barefoot woman standing at the bottom of the stairs. Asterisk. But her feet weren't touching the ground. Asterisk, her legs faded into the soil, blending into it, like she grew from the earth itself. Asterisk, her voice echoed, but her mouth didn't move. Asterisk, you shouldn't whisper, she said. Whispering makes it hungry. The soil around her rippled outward like water. Carter screamed soundlessly and pointed at me to run. Asterisk, I didn't think. I sprinted. The basement rumbled. The earth bulged, cracking, rising like something massive was pushing from beneath. Asterisk, I scrambled up the stairs, the house vibrating around me, floorboards flexing like ribs. Asterisk, behind me. Carter yelled my name. How did he know my name? Then his voice cut sharply, drowned by the sound of something heavy collapsing into earth. Asterisk, I slammed the basement door behind me. The tapping sound was now above me, on the ceiling, in the walls. Then tap, 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 right behind my head. I backed away slowly. My flashlight beam jittered across peeling wallpaper. Asterisk, the barefoot woman, appeared again in the hallway. Not walking, sliding. Her face stretched wrong, like something behind her skin was rearranged. She spoke slowly, voice deeper now. He is awake. Stay back, I warned. She tilted her head. He wants you to stay. He has questions. Asterisk, I'm leaving. Asterisk, you won't get far. I bolted for the front door. It slammed shut inches from my face. Asterisk, no wind. No draft. Just force. The woman drifted toward me. He listens. He learns. He repeats what he hears. Asterisk, the porch light outside flickered as I yanked at the handle, slamming my shoulder into the door again and again. Nothing. It's rude to leave, she said. Asterisk, a voice echoed through the house deep, low, vibrating in the walls. Asterisk, rude. The entire structure shuddered. I ran to a window, smashed the glass with my elbow, and climbed through, cutting my arm. I hit the snow hard, rolled, got up, sprinted toward my truck. Asterisk behind me. The porch light died. The house exhaled long and furious. I jumped into my truck, jammed the keys, started the engine. The headlights flicked on, and the woman stood 10 feet ahead, staring into them. Except it wasn't her anymore. Her face was wrung too wide, too stretched. Her arms extended down to her knees. Her neck bent at an impossible angle. She mouthed something. I floored the gas. Asterisk, the truck roared forward and passed straight through her like mist. Asterisk, I didn't stop, didn't look back. Drove until I reached the next town, shaking so violently I could barely open the motel door. I didn't sleep, just sat staring at the wall until morning. But the worst part came 3 days later, after I'd convinced myself it was trauma, hallucination, anything logical. The motel phone rang. I answered. Static crackled. Then a voice whispered, you shouldn't have left. My blood froze. The voice wasn't the woman's, it was mine. The exact tone, exact pitch, my own voice whispering into my ear. You didn't answer his questions, it said. So he learned yours. I hung up, packed my things, left town. I've been running since, but every night, when everything is silent, and the house I am sleeping in grows still, I hear it, somewhere distant in the walls. Tap, 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 like it knows where I am. Like it's learning the sound of every room I stay in. Like it's getting closer. I shouldn't have stopped on Route 19. I shouldn't have entered that house. But it's too late now. Because the thing that lives under that farmhouse, the thing that listens, heard me once. And once is all it needs. The end. The house that stayed dark, I don't usually talk about this night. Not because I'm traumatized though, I am, but because nobody believes me. And honestly, I don't blame them. If someone told me a story like this last year, I would have laughed and asked what they were smoking. But this happened. Every detail, every sound, every breath of cold air inside a house that should not have been cold, every shadow that shouldn't have been moving. I remember everything. And I know the house remembers me. I was working as a delivery driver for a regional electrical supply company in northern Pennsylvania. I hated the job, but it paid the rent and didn't ask me to smile or talk to customers, which was perfect. The only thing I liked about it was the long highway drives. Miles of trees, old barns, small towns that looked frozen in time, and long quiet stretches where you could forget the rest of the world existed. On October 28th, 4 days before Halloween, I was assigned a weird late drop-off. A property owner had ordered a bunch of wiring, outlets, and breaker panels. The order sheet said the building was undergoing urgent renovation. That wasn't the weird part. What was weird was the delivery window. 9:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. No homeowner ever asked for a delivery that late, especially not out in the boonies. But the company didn't care. They handed me the keys to the van and a clipboard, and off I went. The GPS led me into deep back roads, through tiny towns with names like Millbrook, Fisher's Bend, and Red Hollow. After Red Hollow, the road narrowed into a single lane with cracked asphalt and trees pressing in on both sides. Fog drifted across the ground. My headlights cut through it like a knife, but it didn't fade, it swirled. The road ended at a long gravel driveway. A rusted mailbox leaned to one side, the numbers nearly worn invisible. My GPS chirped, destination on the right. I looked around. There was no house, just trees. Then I saw it far back from the road, barely visible through the fog and branches. A tall, old colonial-style house, completely dark, except for a faint yellow glow in a single upstairs window. The rest of the house was swallowed in shadow. No porch lights. No motion sensor lights. No other windows lit. Just one dim square of yellow, like a lone eye peeking out of a dying skull. I parked near the porch. The entire property felt wrong the moment I stepped out. No sound, no wind, no insect. Just cold, and seasonably cold for late October. I grabbed the clipboard and headed up the porch steps. The boards groaned under my boots. No doorbell, just a big iron knocker, shaped like a lion's head. I hesitated, then knocked. The sound echoed long, too long, like the house was hollow. No answer. I knocked again, louder. Still nothing. Hello? I called out. Delivery. Silence. I checked the order again. Leave inside front door. Customer requested direct placement. I sighed. Great. Either this guy was sleeping, or this was some elaborate prank. I tried the doorknob. It turned. Asterisk. The door creaked open, on its own, an inch or two. At first I thought the movement was from my push, but no, the hinges moved slow, steady, like someone inside was pulling it open. Only no one was. The hallway beyond was pitch black. Asterisk. I took out my phone, turned on the flashlight, and stepped inside. Asterisk. The smell hit me immediately. Dust, mildew, something metallic. The air felt thick, heavy, like the inside of an attic that hadn't been opened in decades. Asterisk. Hello. I called again. Still no answer. I carried the boxers inside and set them down by the wall. I just wanted to get out as fast as possible. Asterisk. That's when I heard it. Footsteps, slow, creaking, coming from upstairs. Asterisk. I froze. I wasn't imagining it. Someone was definitely walking above me. Asterisk. Hello. I've got your delivery, I said. Louder. The footsteps stopped. A cold wave ran through me, like someone had poured ice water down my spine. Asterisk. I should have left right then. I know that now. Asterisk. But the company always complained when drivers didn't confirm handoff, and I needed the money. So I forced myself to the bottom of the staircase. The steps looked ancient wood, darkened by age, edges worn smooth. My flashlight barely lit anything past the first dozen steps. Sir, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Just need a signature. Silence. Then thump. It came from the left side of the upstairs hallway. A heavy, deliberate thump, like someone had just set something down, or stepped hard. Asterisk. I swallowed, forced my foot onto the first step. It creaked loudly. Then the second, third. Asterisk. Halfway up, the air turned freezing. My breath came out in pale clouds. Inside the house, with the heat supposedly on for renovation. Asterisk. When I reached the top of the stairs, the upstairs hallway stretched long in both directions. Every door was closed, except the far one on the left, the door with the faint yellow glow behind it. As I stared at it, the glow flickered, not like a lamp, like a candle, struggling to stay lit. Asterisk. I took a step down the hallway, my flashlight shaking. The floorboards creaked under every step. The house groaned softly, like it was shifting on its foundation. Asterisk. I got to the open door and nudged it wider. It was a bedroom, and the only source of light was a candle sitting on the floor in the corner. The flame trembled violently, even though there was no breeze. Asterisk. The room was empty. Asterisk. Nothing but moldy wallpaper peeling off in long strips, an old wooden rocking chair, and a mattress that looked older than I was. Then I saw something on the mattress. Claw marks. Asterisk. Long ones. Deep ones. Asterisk. For straight knife-like gashes ripped through the fabric and stuffing, like something with massive hands had dug in and torn. My heart hammered. This was wrong. All of it was wrong. Nothing about this felt like a normal house under renovation. Asterisk. I backed away. The candle went out. Snuffed instantly. My flashlight flickered. No. 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 It died. Pitch black swallowed everything. Asterisk. I pulled out my phone. The screen stayed black. Battery full, but the screen wouldn't turn on. Then, footsteps. Behind me. Slow. Deliberate. Coming closer. My whole body locked up. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't turn. Couldn't force my legs to move. Asterisk. I felt cold air brush the back of my neck, the unmistakable chill of someone standing inches behind me. I bolted. Asterisk. I slammed into the hallway wall, half running, half stumbling, toward the staircase. But the house felt different. Now the floor wasn't flat. It sloped slightly, like the whole building was tilting. I grabbed the railing and practically threw myself down the steps. Asterisk. When I reached the bottom, the front door was closed. I hadn't closed it. Asterisk, I sprinted toward it, grabbed the handle, and yanked. It didn't move. Not locked. Just stuck. Asterisk. Then the floor above me creaked. Something was moving toward the stairs. Slow. Heavy. Each step groaning under its weight. Asterisk, I threw my shoulder into the door. It budged an inch. Another creaking step from upstairs. I hit the door again. 2 inches. Another step. Closer. A deep, rasping breath drifted down the staircase. Not human, not animal. Something cold. Hollow. I slammed my shoulder again 3 inches. Come on, I screamed, slamming again and again, shoulder exploding with pain. Asterisk, suddenly it flew open, throwing me onto the porch. I scrambled to my feet and ran to the van so fast I slipped on the gravel. I didn't care. I got inside, locked the doors, and started the engine. Asterisk, as I pulled away, headlights swept across the house. Asterisk, and I saw someone standing in the upstairs window. The same window that had the yellow light earlier. Asterisk, a tall, dark figure, still watching. Asterisk, no face. No features. Just a silhouette. I floored the gas and didn't look back again. The next day, I didn't sleep. Not 1 second. I kept replaying the footsteps, the cold breath on my neck, the way the house seemed to shift and lean. I almost called in sick, but I needed to work. So I drank 3 coffees, got in the van, and went straight to the office. Asterisk, I told my supervisor everything. Not the scary parts, just that the house felt unstable, unsafe, possibly abandoned. He frowned and typed the address into the system. Then he looked at me strangely. We've delivered to that property before, he said. Then he turned the screen toward me. Delivery location, 100 Parker Lane. Asterisk status. Property condemned since 1998. No occupants allowed. Nitrogen monoxide active permits. Asterisk condemned. That can't be right, I said. Someone placed an order. Someone walked around upstairs. My supervisor shook his head. The last delivery attempt was 4 years ago. Driver refused to enter. Said he saw someone in the window too. I felt my mouth go dry. He continued reading. Owner died in 1997. House left 2 relatives who never claimed it. It's been empty for decades. I stared at him. Then, who placed the order? Asterisk, he shrugged. No idea. Order was confirmed and paid online, but the account info looked legit. Maybe a contractor messed up the address. But I knew better. Someone had been in that house. Someone who wasn't alive. Asterisk, I tried to let it go asterisk, but I couldn't. Every night for weeks. I saw the silhouette in the window when I closed my eyes. Every creak in my apartment sounded like someone walking upstairs. I slept with the lights on. I stopped going out after dark.